Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Extism community highlight. For those who are here for the first time, Extism is an open source cross-language framework for building with WebAssembly. I'm Ben. I'm the CTO of Dilipso, and we're the creators and primary maintainers of Extism. And in this series, we bring on an Extism user to talk about how and why they're using Extism. And this week we have Mathieu from the Otoroshi project. So Mathieu, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us about Otoroshi and your company, Cloud APIM.
Hi Ben, thanks for having me. Yes, so I'm Mathieu Ancelin. I'm a developer at a French company called Surly, and I'm also the co-founder and the CTO of Cloud APIM. Cloud APIM is a company that provides managed instance of API management through an open source project named Otoroshi that I will introduce later. And we provide some other product like web authentication enforcement for your web application firewall, this kind of stuff, all running around Otoroshi.
Cool. Yeah, tell us about Otoroshi. So Otoroshi is an open source project, right? And you started that a few years back.
Yes, actually Otoroshi is an open source project that it's basically an HTTP reverse proxy with some cool feature like API management or authentication enforcement and this kind of stuff for web application. It's a project written in Scala, so it runs on the JVM, and I created it in 2017, I think. Yes, that's it. Yeah, 2017. Maybe I can explain why I created
that'd be great.
project. Yes, because there is a lot of other projects that provide exactly the same features. So at the time, I was a contractor for a big insurance company in France called Maif, and we were building a new platform to provide a way for developer to create a new application very quickly, and we were searching for a new an open source project to provide API management and web authentication for application written in any languages, because at the time our cloud platform, which was Clever Cloud, it's a fantastic French platform as a service company, provided a way to run web application written in any language. So you can write your application in Python, in Rust, in whatever. And we needed something that could add API management and web authentication on top of those technologies without being sticked to only Java or only JavaScript or whatever. So at the time, I did some research and I didn't find any open source project that I knew of that offer all these features combined in a single package. So quickly, I began to write a small prototype with everything I needed, how I see things, how I want things. And this little prototype became what's in Otoroshi right now. So it's a very complete tool set for HTTP application with API management, etc., etc.
Great. Yeah. And it seems thankfully Maif allowed you to open source it, and you took that and went to start your own company, right? So can you tell us a little bit about Cloud APIM and what you're trying to do?
Yes, with Cloud APIM, we are trying to offer some, how can I say that, some easy way to start with Otoroshi without having to set up your own server, your own cluster, which can be like a little bit difficult if you don't know what you're doing. So we are trying to provide something that is it just works. You just have to click, I want a cluster with this kind of features, and voila, we have a new Otoroshi cluster that is up and running with TLS certificates set up, everything. So you just have to use it to expose your API and maybe make money with it or whatever. And we are providing some other projects around that are built on top of Otoroshi, but just for small feature sets like enforce authentication on your web application, or provide web application firewall for your web applications right now. So that's pretty much what we offer at Cloud APIM. And
Great.
the main reason for that is to continue the work on Otoroshi, which will be open source forever, I think.
Nice. Yeah, it's a really cool project. Can you tell me a little bit about how you came about Extism and sort of what problem you were trying to solve, and how you found Extism, and in particular, like what sort of issues were in Otoroshi that Extism was needed for?
Yes, of course. So I think since 2019, Otoroshi has been extendable with a plugin system. It worked pretty well, but it has some limitation. In Otoroshi plugins, you can call it policies in other products like Otoroshi. Our plugins are small piece of code that can modify incoming HTTP requests or outgoing HTTP responses on the fly. You just configure it to do whatever you want, and it does it on a particular route on all the Otoroshi cluster. And this plugin system was written in Scala. So on the limitation side, you have the fact that it's written in Scala, so you have to write your plugin in Scala. So you have to learn Scala, which is a great language, but can be a little tough to learn. And the other problem is that as Otoroshi is based on the JVM, the plugin system was bound to the way the JVM works. So if you write a plugin in Scala, you have to build a jar file with this plugin inside. You have to provide this jar file on the class path of the Otoroshi server when you start the server. So if you have a cluster, you have to restart all your nodes with the same jar file to make sure the plugin is available on all the nodes so they can use your plugin. It works, it's doable, but maybe it's not that handy. So for a long time, I wanted to support plugin written in Wasm, because it will bring some dynamic side of things to handle the plugin, and also we will have the possibility to write plugin with other language than Scala. And at the end of 2022, I think I stumbled on a tweet. Maybe it was written by Philippe Charrière. I think you know Philippe. He was mentioning Extism and how we used it for a side project or something like that. And I was quite interested because after some research, there wasn't really no existing library with Wasm support for Java that actually works. There was some experimentations that would crash after 5 calls.
Right.
So
yeah.
No, I won't tell names, but there was some issue with the existing library. So Extism was like a new world to me. So I decided to integrate Extism inside in Otoroshi to bring some nice features, and I did it with my friend Etienne Anne, which he worked at Maif, and he contributed a lot to Extism. And on the plus side of using something like Wasm and Extism was also compared to the old plugin system of Otoroshi, it's that you have sandboxing. So the issue with the plugins of Otoroshi is that if someone call the system exit method, or if the plugin crash, then the whole server crash. That's not very cool. So with Wasm, you don't have this kind of issue, and also the plugins doesn't have any restriction on what the plugin can access or not. And it's kind of a feature if you consider that a plugin can do whatever you want because you want it to do whatever you want. But if it's not a plugin that you have written yourself, you don't know what he's going to do. He has access to your secrets, your traffic, whatever whatever he wants. So maybe it's not a great thing. So that's another cool things with WASM and Extism is that you can have some flags through host functions to limit what the plugin can access. And so yes, in 2023, we with Etienne, we did all the work to integrate Extism to Otoroshi. So we added the host function support to the Java PDK or SDK. I don't remember which one is which.
SDK, yeah.
SDK, yeah. So it was mandatory for us to have this one because that was the one thing that we needed for the limitation and to provide some access to the Otoroshi database, some configuration, etc., etc. And we built all the infrastructure inside Otoroshi to make the plugin system work with Extism, and for each kind of plugin that you can write in Scala in Otoroshi, you have exactly the same kind of plugin that you can write as an Extism plugin in Otoroshi too. And on the way, we have created 2 other projects that are open source to help us. We have a library that is called WASM4S. It's some kind of abstraction on top of the Extism plugin to scale, because you are in an API gateway, you have multiple requests at the same time. You need to have eventually multiple WASM VM running concurrently to handle the traffic. So this library creates pools of Extism plugins that can be awakened, go back to the pool, etc., etc. And we have also created some kind of web ID project to help the people that want to create plugins for Otoroshi to write their plugin and to build and distribute them, because even if with Extism things are a little bit more simple, you have to know the toolchain for each language to create your plugin, etc., etc. So we created something that is called Wasmo, that helps people to write, build, and distribute their Extism plugins.
Great. Yeah, it sounds kind of like there's really 4 things. There's sort of like, there was 1, it helps you write plugins in different languages, and then 2, yes, it helps you deploy plugins and changes without having to redeploy the system, which is probably really important. If you're an API gateway, you need to stay up all the time.
It's quite important.
There's there's the fault isolation, right? So like plugins can't hurt the overall API gateway, which is also important. And then there's a security aspect, which is, they can only do what they want to do. So yeah, that's great. Would you be willing to show us some Otoroshi stuff now? If you could share your screen.
Of course. So, this one. Okay, so yes, yeah. So this is my my Cloud APIM console, where I have some instances of Otoroshi. Here I have my demo instances. So this is the admin dashboard of Otoroshi. Everything you can see in this dashboard can be accessed through an admin REST API, but for demos, the web UI is it's much simpler. So on the home screen, you have some live metrics. As I'm the only one using this instance, there is nothing happening right now. But that's Otoroshi. Here you have all the things you can configure on Otoroshi, like certificates, GWT token verifiers, etc., etc. I will not go on each entity, but I will show you how to use Otoroshi basically. So we are going to, I'm going to show you how to route traffic through Otoroshi. So I'm going to create a route for that. So this route will be called demo. I'm creating the route, and here you have the path of the request. So the request is catched by a front end, pass through some plugins. Here is an example of a plugin that change the host header in an HTTP request, and goes to the backend, and then goes back to the client. So here on the front end side, I want to catch everything that comes to this domain name on /demo. I can say that I want it exactly on /demo or on /demo and anything else after. You can filter by HTTP method or header or query, whatever you want. So here I just add /demo, and I'm forwarding the request to a backend, and this backend is here. It's request.otoroshi.io. So it's a toy application that just sends back what you send in the request. So it's not really useful. It's great for demo. So it's okay like that. So if I'm using this this URL and trying to call it from an HTTP client, here I have my HTTP client Bruno. I'm running the request, and I have my response from the backend. So now that I've done that, I can add some plugins to my route. So maybe I want to add to enforce the fact that I want HTTPS traffic only. So I add the plugin HTTPS traffic. Or I can say that I want to access this route only with an API key. So to do that, I use the plugin API key, and I save my route. So now that I have this plugin that is on the request path, I can't access my route anymore without an API key. So here is if I redo the same call, Otoroshi said, no, you have to pass an API key. So to do that, I can create a new API key for this demo. So I go into API keys, I create a new API keys. There is some secret value here. It's okay for me. I create the key. And now I can copy the value of the API key and pass it to my core. So it's basic authentication, user password, and I can go with it and say why. That's the greatest demo effect ever. Okay, no, I forgot. Yes, I forgot some one more step.
Well, now we know it's live.
Yeah, it's live. You have to authorize the API key on a certain route. So here I can say that I want to use to authorize this API key on my demo route. So the API key will pass instead of failing miserably. So yes, my call is passing with the API key. So Otoroshi does API management, and that's cool. So now I can show you how to use an Extism plugin inside Otoroshi if you want.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. By the way, I really love the visual interface of the plugins. It's really cool.
Yes. Cool, thanks. That's the work of Etienne, you know.
Oh, Etienne. I have a lot to thank Etienne for, including all his Java help. So thank him when you see him.
No problem. So let's say we want to create a route that is protected by some custom code of mine written in maybe JavaScript or whatever. So I will create this route. I will call it header access, maybe. Here I'm going to catch the traffic on header access. The traffic is going to go to the same backend. It's not really important. And here I want to add some filter that is backed by an Extism plugin. So I have the WASM category here. Maybe it's hidden by the link. Maybe I can lift my sorry.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Maybe here we have the WASM category. We have a lot of WASM focused plugins, and I'm going to use the WASM access control plugin to do it. But I need to write some WASM code, or at least some JavaScript code compiled to WASM. So I'm going to use the other project that I mentioned earlier, that is Wasmo, the project to create your WASM plugin. So I'm going to create a plugin written in JavaScript for Otoroshi, and that will be an access control plugin, header access. So yes. Okay, so I have here my plugin is written in JavaScript. So I'm just parsing the context sent by Otoroshi when he called the Extism function. And I'm looking for a header called foo with the value bar. It's not really something very smart, but it's just to show how it works. So if I have the right value, I just say, okay, you can let the request pass. And if not, I return for one response with you are not authorized in the response. So this function is called execute. Here, I think there is a typo in the template, so I have to change the name of the function here to make it work. And now I can build my my plugin. So it runs all the tool chain to make the WASM file at the end with everything Extism does. It's a little slow because I've used a small server. I should have used a better one, but it will work eventually.
That's my code, so that's probably the reason it's slow, actually.
WASM opt. That's all right. Okay, so the plugin has been built. So now I can access it from my Otoroshi instance because I connected it
cool.
before, so I can access it. So just before that, I'm going to create a WASM plugin in Otoroshi, so you can reuse them across routes. It's something that is quite nice, we think. So I call it header access, and I say it comes from Wasmo, and now I have my header access package that has been built. My function was execute, and I need to enable WASI because it's a JavaScript plugin, and I create the plugin. So now this plugin is created, and I can use it in whatever route I want inside Otoroshi. So let's go back to our routes. We can test it first to see how it works. So yes, it's the header access. So my route works, and now I can add my WASM plugin here. So I think I already did, but no. Okay, so here I'm using a local plugin, which is header access, and I don't have anything to do anymore. I just have to yes, everything is fine. I just have to call my my routes again, and it should not. So that's the first one.
Awesome.
Is a little slow. But no, you're not authorized. So I just have to add my header foo with the value bar, and now you can pass, and that's backed
Sweet.
by the Extism plugin. And you can do whatever you want. You have a lot of WASM plugins, so to simulate backend, to transform a request, a response, to match a route or not, to transform WebSocket messages. We have a lot of possibility. Whatever you can do in Scala, you can do it using Extism and whatever language you want.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Wasmo is such a cool project because it makes it so easy to build it without having to install any of the WASM tool chains, which can be kind of painful. And you guys have really kind of filled out a lot of the developer experience. It's really amazing.
Thanks.
I was curious, have you seen our bindings generation code yet? You might want to take a look at that soon. Basically, we could help you design a schema for the interface between Otoroshi and the plugins and generate the bindings in all different languages. It gives you nice kind of types and stuff like that.
Yes, I've seen it, but I didn't have the time to to try it extensively. So maybe maybe in some times.
Yeah, I can imagine you guys you're running your own company now, and you've built all this stuff. You built Wasmo and Otoroshi and all these things, and Wasm for us. So yeah, I totally get it. But yeah, when you're ready, come talk to us. But yeah, that was amazing. So there's only a few minutes left. Thanks for sharing all that. Let's see if there's any comments. So we have a few comments here. We have a comment from Jan. Are the Wasm plugins and Otoroshi stateless, stateful, or both?
Okay, that's kind of a tricky one. It's kind of both. So as I mentioned, with Wasm for us, you have multiple instances of the Wasm VM if you want. So we try to clean the memory between each core, but I think if you it's the memory between the host and the plugin. But if you save something in a variable on your code, then it's still there between cores, but you're not. It's not. You can access. You can go on a VM that hasn't been initialized yet, so your value may not be here. So it's stateless, but it's stateful also. So
yeah. So you don't guarantee the state, but it could be there. Yeah.
You should treat it like a stateless thing instead of a stateful thing.
Yeah, I suppose you could. Generally, you in our systems we offer some kind of host function to handle state if you want, but it's up to you whether you want that state around or not.
You actually can do it in the Wasm plugin entity on Otoroshi. You can. I didn't show it, but you have flags to enable access to the Otoroshi data store, so you can store some things through host function in the Otoroshi data store as a plugin. So it can be scoped to only your plugin, or you can access the whole data store and store whatever you want or read configuration from the data store.
Cool. Yeah. Any other questions from the audience? We'll hang for a couple seconds here. But I think we're just at time now. So if there's no other questions, I'll let you get back to work. And thank you so much. It's really, really great to meet you, and really cool to see like a full demo of Otoroshi. It's a really amazing project. And again, tell Etienne I said thank you and hello. I've been really appreciative of all the sort of feedback, as well as all the Java code that he's written for Extism, and he's really helped like make Extism and Java like a lot easier. So really, really appreciate working with you guys, and thank you again. And hope to see you soon.
Okay, thanks for having me.
Okay, take care, Mathieu. Bye.
Bye.